Good morning, flat earth. I give thanks for this beautiful day, another day. I just wanted to shoot some. I've been trying to shoot this little video and express a few things about this thing. It's very difficult, first of all. I went ahead and uploaded the video of the transcripts or the audio, and also I've pasted in my blog the transcript of the call, and as well as the post that was psychological operation that was performed in Distilled Waters group. Such a fiasco. I mean, it's very upsetting, but I wanted to really just express that regardless of these men, whether or not they are indeed, whatever they are, even if they're Satan's slaves, okay, I don't want to be the one that demonizes them and judges them as to whatever their thoughts and feelings are, because I don't really know. I've met Andrew a few times. I met him when he came out here to Sacramento Distilled Waters Conference for a couple of days. We smoked weed together, which, at the time I was smoking, but now I'm not. I haven't smoked for 2 weeks, 2 months, over two. I think it was just beginning, like the last month that I quit now. I've used this herb for 25 years of my life, off and on. A couple of times different, I've quit here and there, but mostly have used it. And now am quit, and I'm very thankful for that. I feel a lot more clear and focused and able to, motivated and doing things. So anyway, that's a whole nother topic in itself. I'm trying to make this video to just express my gratitude, first of all, for the experience that I've had in Distilled Waters. The whole knowledge, even though I've now realized that things have been not right. I've been, parading lies, basically, and I've sort of, I don't know, I can't even evaluate what I've thought before, but I've been a valiant defender of the doctrines, and I call it that, the doctrine, because it's been established this is for certain that, all these things like salt is poison and we should only drink distilled water and drink our urine and stuff like this. Well, I'm realizing now that all these that I just mentioned are incorrect or even dangerous in some situations. You should be very careful about drinking your urine and distilled waters, because it is empty. It is well known. We've said it many times, that distilled water does not conduct electricity. It is an electrical insulator. Well, neurons fire electricity, energy. Your muscles require a pulse of energy to move. Your kidney, virtually every cell in your body is, this is the pump of life. The sodium chloride or sodium potassium pump in the cell. This is how the cells breathe. They use ions of sodium and potassium. And that is the food, pretty much, of our cells. And, anyway, so what I want to do is, I want to express this thanks and gratitude, but also my departure from Distilled Waters cult. And I use that word with full intent, a cult. It is culture. It is an extreme, worship, nearly a worship of guru. It's kind of like guru worship almost, if you will. And that's the thing about the guru. I mean, in India, hey, it's people, it serves them well, but not for me. Guru, like the thing is that the guru can do no wrong. Okay, even no matter what kind of terrible things the guru does, the follower, the devotees will always consider that to be a divine a divine, whatever, sin, or however they say that. I'm not sure. Whatever. What the point I'm trying to make is that Andrew Norton Webber has nearly been worshipped by a lot of people. I've seen it in comments. Not that everybody thinks that, obviously not. Okay, we're all kind of individuals, and I think he has tried to say that, we're all individual creators and manifestors and whatever. There's a lot of various conspiracies that I could go into, that he has brought out, and a couple of very dangerous ones that I plan on making more talks and write-ups and talking on my radio show, which I do on Saturdays, 12 to 3. Although I don't know, I'm sort of like so many things are in transition, and this summer has really been just a major change. My life is just like, wow, I'm so happy though, and amazed. I'm just excited to my very core, to my soul, that the future is now, that I'm here and experiencing this this realm of earth, and realizing these things of, just waking up to the illusions and the lies that we've been told. I mean, this whole flat earth thing has kind of set it off, and it's really not about the physical plane, whether or not it's flat. I mean, on the, the 3D world, when you look at the physical structure of things, it's flat. I mean, there's so many obvious pieces of evidence to say that it's flat. Sea level, first of all, look at sea level, and et cetera. But I'm not going into the whole thing in flat earth right now. This is a big hot topic all on its own. So what it has done though is bust down these illusions that, we've all just gone about assuming that, or, accepting and believing the false science of NASA and the rest of them, giving us these computer graphic images of perfect spinning ball. It's an illusion. It's garbage. It's such lies. I mean, so that fact alone right there has to be recognized, that NASA is a bunch of liars. They're Freemasonic liars that have made up on their computer screens. And in Hollywood, they're in Pasadena, right down the road from freaking Hollywood, California. And they literally filmed the moon landings on the Space Odyssey 2001 Space Odyssey movie set. So, and this topic is what sparked my, as you may have seen the other video of Andrew's phone call to me in June 7th, 2016. He called me with that very angry call that kind of shocked me. And I'm disappointed at my reaction, although just whatever it is, what it is. My cowardice reaction, that I just kind of cowered to his demand, or not really done his demands. The day after, even that day, I was mad. I was cursing. I was walking around. I'm just like, how dare you try to call me and tell me that I can't post or think about flat Earth on my own space, and you're demanding that I publicly come out against it. And what the fuck, man? Are you, what are you smoking? You must be having crack with that THC. There was just all these, cursing and angry. This was terrorizing. I was terrorized for days after this phone call. And then, the month after or so, Donny did try to call me. I didn't answer the phone. I was busy. I just didn't want to answer the phone. I saw him call, and I was like, do I want to answer? And I was like, And minutes later, literally, a friend messaged me and was like, oh my God, did you see Donny's post in the group? He came out with this long post of, calling flat earthers uh, viruses, basically, that they need to be purged, and they have 1 week from the date of that post and they would be removed. Although in his phone call later, he says, "Oh, I had no intention of removing anybody. Will you still be my friend?" Perform a psychological operation and with a bunch of lies, absolute lies. I mean, even if I was a globe ahead, his post was full of garbage and lies. I mean, this is just bonkers. So anyway, that whole fiasco sparked off. I had this other group that I had made 6 months prior. It was supposed to be the Distilled Waters public group, because the group went secret, which I didn't agree with. There's all along the way I've kind of butted heads with Donny, because the heavy-handed, tyrannical, freaking rule-making, bullshit that's going on in there. Unbelievable. I've wanted to comment so many times that I've held back, but whatever. It's past, it's done and gone. I did try to be a voice of reason when I could, but. So now here we are. I got this group, which, it's called Melting Stones. Got a bunch of stuff in there, and we're talking about stuff. There's also a page. I may even change my very name, because after the internet, after a guy walked in my radio show yesterday for like 20 minutes. You can see that on the archive. I might just post that whole show on its own video. It's August 20th, 2016, if you want to look in the archives. kmecradio.org for now. But there again, that's another spot. I'm really just so thankful to have that whole experience with the Mendocino Environmental Center. But it may come to an end someday. And I have to do my own thing. Set up my own studio. Anyway, so the point I just, there's so many different things I've wanted to express in video, but I haven't had the courage, or, it just wasn't the right time. And I feel like right now is the time, and I'm just flowing with this now. Although I started this video with no real thought of what I was going to say. I give thanks and praise to God, for lack of a more complicated term to explain what that means to me. But I give thanks to the Most High and the angels, Gabriel, if you will, these archetype symbols that we use to attribute, these wonderful things to, like the Archangel Gabriel is guided and given me messages after message. And I'm just thankful. I'm just so absolutely overjoyed and wonderfully exhilarated, and I don't know, all these words that I could use to express my feelings of just thanks, thank you for these experiences. Even though it has been hard, there's been struggles, and there's been all this, all these terrible things that happen. There are things that strengthen our character and give us perspective, or these sometimes the little knocks and bruises, and they help you be a little stronger and build your character and learn lessons that you would never learn otherwise. If your life was easy all the time, you'd just be a freaking brat, a little rich kid that sits around and doesn't do nothing but play video games, or whatever they do that all their needs are met, so they don't have to think about anything, to live their life. Everything's given to them on a silver platter. That doesn't build character and strength. You know, Jesus' example in the Bible, you know, he was born of a peasants and lived the life of poverty as a or as a carpenter, you know, the working class, the poor folk. But he brought the most profound message. I mean, even if, you know, whether you believe he even existed or not is beside the point of the valuable metaphorical wisdom that's contained in these books. It's called the Bible, the assemblage of books. That, yes, was handed to us by the Vatican, and there's a whole bunch of problems. And, you know, you should really dig a lot deeper than the English. Go into your Hebrew, Greek lexicons and find out definitions and original words and etc. You know, don't just settle on the surface. Dive in deep. Look. Dig a little. You'd be surprised what you find as the pieces fall into place. The puzzle. This is a puzzling. They're puzzling pieces, this life. You know, we have to assemble this puzzle. So anyway, so yeah, let me just cut this here now short and just say that I you know, even though I'm somewhat exposing the message of distilled waters and urine therapy as you know, very limited and even just in the therapy itself. If you're a practitioner, you have to really admit, and I've done it for 3.5 years. Okay, I've been pretty faithful, and not totally on my diet, all perfect, but I've bathed literally every day, just about almost in a dishpan with often aged urine. When I know people smelled me, and you know, my closer friends have commented about it too, and I, you know, whatever. But so I've been a pretty faithful practitioner of urine therapy and distilled water. Okay, so I speak from experience on this, and looping your urine all day long is very hard on your kidneys. It doesn't allow your body to release many of the toxins that are there. There are urea itself you can poison yourself on urea, and that's the first number one ingredient in urine. Is mostly urea. There's also various mineral salts and inorganic substances. You know, this whole scare and confusion about inorganic versus organic. That's another kind of silly thing. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss life with love and grace. Keep it simple, stupid. You know, there's sea salt. And this is the anti-distilled water, the sea salt. This is a whole topic on itself, and that's primarily what my yesterday's show was all about, and garnered a lot of listeners, really, and you know, people, this is huge. This salt thing is really big. This is way beyond than I've even scratched the dust off the surface, because it's mentioned in the Bible, first of all throughout and in the Hebrew Torah, the Leviticus says that we should offer salt with all our offerings. I mean, of course, that's, you know, the Old Testament Jewish law stuff or whatever, but the point of being is that salt has been a vital part of not only religious ceremony, but all living organisms have and are able to process, depending on their environment, you know, some more than others or whatever, or some the opposite, like freshwater fish discard water and they collect salt, and then saltwater fish discard the salt and collect water in their bodies, or so to speak. You know, it depends on your environment and adaptability. Our cells require, like I said in the beginning, they require sodium and potassium. So anyway, this salt thing is very deep, and the whole anti-salt thing, coupled with the distilled waters, drinking only empty distilled water, I think is a dangerous combination, and really quite a Luciferian, if you will, satanic agenda to steal people's souls, literally to steal your salvation and to steal your energy. Okay, now I know that's very heavy. That is some heavy words right there. But I've, since Andrew's phone call, we've been kind of waking up to a few things, and there's a lot of evidence. And I'm working on a document, and there's several links and stuff that I've got so far, but I'm, busy and whatnot. It's summertime, so I haven't had a lot of time to really focus too much on research and stuff and gathering links. But just from what I've seen so far, it's very obvious that there is some deeper agenda here, and I don't think it's necessarily even Andrew. He's just kind of been the mouthpiece, and I don't know. I can't judge or not for sure, whatever, the man himself. But the message I can, because I've experienced it myself. I've been a leading, crusader. Andrew used that very word in my phone call. Got to crusade for the truth. Crusade is a military term, a medieval military thing that they used to apply to ridding the Holy Land of the Muslims. So this whole Muslim-Christian wars have been going on since the days of Abraham, literally. Because he's the father of both religions. So anyway, that's all. Man, goodness. There's so many deep and crazy things. Yes, Distilled Waters' agenda is a Luciferian. There's something very Luciferian about it, and I haven't quite exactly pinpointed whatever. It's no one thing, but the whole thing in general is going toward taking your energy and making you open and susceptible to influence. And I literally feel that I've been under hypnosis for the last couple of years. There's been a major hypnosis that I've been under, and I feel like, this summer, really I've just kind of snapped out of it. And this week, in fact, the salt thing has really been hitting me. And as soon as I started going into salt, first comment was like, so you're giving up distilled water then? Huh? Yes, I am. And I haven't drank my urine for over a month, nor have I bathed in it for about that long as well. And I feel amazing, and I feel just like my body has changed. I feel like I've lost weight. I've done a 1 colonic. I have a Kalima board from my friend. I need to get that set up, but I highly recommend colonics to clean your colon out. Fasting. I think fasting has been the real healer, and the cleaning of the colon and the general change of diets to be more fruit and vegetables and raw, and eliminating the poison salt, which is the regular table salt. That stuff is poison. But to say that all salt is poison is a complete moronic and really satanic lie, because salt is religion. Oh my God! Yes, it's very deeply spiritual. It's all throughout the Bible. Ye are the salt of the earth, Jesus said. Don't you think that Satan is going to try to take the salt away? I'm just now clicking on that. Ye are the salt of the earth, is what Jesus said in Matthew 5:18, I think it is. I have my Bible right here. I've been reading the Bible again, which is interesting in itself. It's really, I'm just really, this whole thing, So I've long said that the Bible is just full of wisdom, metaphorical wisdoms that we can use. What people throwing out the baby with the bathwater, and disregarding the fact that every single religious tradition throughout time has the same exact story lines and the same very similar metaphors and wisdom. So we can't just throw this out. And if you speak English, whether you like it or not, your code language is influenced and embedded with the spirituality and the metaphors of this book. Okay? So ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, which is possible with good salt, it does lose its savor, but it's because the sodium chloride leaves. It's some whatever. I don't know exactly what that means, how it can lose its savor, but it's interesting. Interesting metaphor. Ye are the salt of the earth. Season the earth with the good works and the truth, and savory. Salt is savory. It enhances food. It preserves food. It preserves food and prevents decay. Key words, key things right there, metaphors of what salt does. Ye are the salt of the earth. If the salt hath lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing but to be cast and trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid, neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Right there is the meaning of what this is saying. Let your light shine. Let the truth shine through you. Even if you have to admit that you've been wrong. So, anyway, there's almost half an hour already. That's a lot of deep things. I hope this has given you a few things to think about. So, aho matakuyasan is a Lakota term that means all are my relations. Even though I'm a little... the whole oneness doctrine, and this is a whole other topic on its own, this whole New Age kind of stuff, this oneness stuff, really only applies to higher dimensions. Magnetic and like the theoretical fourth dimension and higher, or, but we can see these in magnetic fields. And the air, we all breathe the same air. There are connections. We are connected. But to say that we're all one is kind of like, it's just a general blanket term that I'm not so sure about anymore, because I have this body of flesh. My skin separates me from the environment around me. There is individuality. Each cell is its own little microcosm of individuality. It's not, just a blanket term of say we're all one. It's a little, general. It doesn't really cut it. So anyway, that's a whole nother topic for other future radio shows and videos and documents, whatever, or possibly thoughts at least. So yes, give thanks, praise the Lord, right? I mean, it's just absolutely amazing what's happening here. So just give thanks, be love, be the salt of the earth. And season your life with grace and love and happiness. Laugh. Oh my goodness, laugh as much as you can, even through the pain. Especially through the pain, because that laughter is the best medicine. So, aho matakuyasan. Give thanks.